Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. In Sanskrit, a word for Earth, our planet, is Bhumi. And one of the Earth's children, his name is Bhauma. And fully, he was an Asura, one who had darkness inside. You probably know him to be Naraka Asura. I'm sharing this with you because whenever we reflect on the nature of the earth, there are only good qualities like generosity and forgiveness. Yes. Yet one of her children is a Asura, Bhauma, Naraka. We are all in a selfless context. The fact that you're in Meaningful Mornings, the fact that you have a relationship with Bhagavad Gita shows that you have a selfless context. But despite that context, we can still have a selfish content, like Bhumi and Bhauma. And then what happens? We feel that we're living in hell and we create a hell for others. And that seems like a strong word. What hell is living in fear. If you think of external fear, you're walking down a dark street that you don't know of. Aren't you living in hell then? This is going to happen. That's going to happen. What if this goes this way? And this is the vision of Meaningful Mornings, to have a regular checkup to ensure that despite the outside selflessness, for us to not succumb to selfishness, to keep on regularly checking ourselves to nurture this selflessness, to be courageous, to be fearless. Why to act? We should act to protect people. How to act? One first has to protect themselves. What is the practical way to protect? To make independent. So how do we go about making ourselves independent? By shifting our dependency from the phantom. The phantom is the ego. Sometimes good for us, sometimes bad for us. Shifting that dependency to our partner. Shifting that dependency to our parent. Shifting that dependency to our presence. Once we have become independent, we will naturally lead others. Because 95% naturally become followers, so we don't have to have leadership techniques. This will all be natural. And Sri Krishna is an icon of leading oneself and leading others. Throughout our day, whenever you're commencing an activity, you're engaged in a meeting, etc., try to practice japa, meaningful repetition of Sri Krishna. The more you remember such a role model, the more you will be like him. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna is now focusing on, what if he's irresponsible? This is a great teaching technique. This is the positive way. This is the negative way. He shares, if I am irresponsible, then what will happen is that others will become irresponsible too. And I know whenever we think of irresponsibility, we have these gross examples of drinking and driving, of missing an exam. Irresponsibility is being selfish. That's why I started this morning with, from bhumi, from selflessness came bhauma, selfishness. Being selfish. Right now, I'm reading a book. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass. I'm encouraging all of you to read this also. And I came across a portion that I remembered when I was growing up. When I was a child, sometimes someone would call another child an Indian giver. And what this meant is, suppose I gave you this bookmark. I gave it to you. And after some time, or in our kids' cases, immediately, you ask for it back. And so you're called an Indian giver. And the author shares how negative this terminology is because it's misinterpreted. Indigenous culture and communities work based on gift economy. Please remember this, gift economy. I give you this bookmark. It is not yours. You are to gift it to someone else. They're supposed to gift it to someone else. And finally, it comes back to me. Maybe not exactly as this bookmark, but that gift comes back to me. Whereas the culture and community we are living in, this is called a private economy. What's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. So there's no wealth sharing then. See how negative this idea of Indian giver is? That I gave it to you and now I expect it back. It's a gift. Really, all we have in our life is a gift, no? Especially the earth. Those who live in this private economy, that's selfishness. It is very much about dvaita and separation. But those who live in the gift economy, all belongs to all, that's selflessness. That's how Sri Krishna lived, is encouraging us to live. And if we don't, the previous verse, there was some sort of negativity. In the verse we're now taking up, verse 24, there's much more negativity. Utsi de yuri me lokaha na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami maf prajaha. Utsi de yuhu, which means would die. Utsi de yuhu. What would die? Ime lokaha. All of these worlds, all of these dimensions. Why? Nakuryam karma. If I don't act, chetaham. Shri Krishna is focusing on himself. If I don't engage in my responsibilities, all of these worlds, all of these dimensions would die. I shared this with you in a framework yesterday. If Sri Krishna, as if stops being consciousness, what will happen to life? There would be no life, correct? Okay. Coming down in this framework, we're going from absolute to tactile. If Sri Krishna as the creator stops being responsible, what will happen to creation? Yesterday, I referenced trees not giving oxygen. What if gravity just disappeared? What will happen? You'd have to be so careful to never come off the earth, correct? So that's more macro, and we're hearing this. We don't really know what to do with this. Now he brings it to the micro. Sri Krishna is the leader of leaders. If he acts selfishly, naturally Prince Arjuna is going to act selfishly. Naturally, the Pandavas are going to act selfishly. Naturally, who else is? We are. Because history, precedent has been set up like that. And he is most specific now. Sangarasya, which means a confusion of who one is and what one should do. Karitasyam, this will be caused by me. If I am irresponsible, if I am selfish, that is Sri Krishna, there will only be confusion. Then, upahanyam imaf prajaha, and all of these people, they will all die. Just like the lokaha will be dying, the prajaha will also be dying. Personalizing this. In the English commentary, Sangarasya means confusion of castes. Please remember, when Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda gave discourses on Bhagavad Gita, he did this decades ago. When India or Bharat was still deeply connected to colonialism. And so what sentiment and word was used often? Caste. The more meaningful word is varna. And this I'll explore more in chapter 4. Varna means color, not an outer color. Right now, Vivek's outer color is darker because I'm in the sun all the time. 4 months from now, it'll be less dark because I won't be in the sun. Varna is my inner color, my inner personality. This Varna then gets expressed through a ashrama, and ashrama is a position. So my personality is to be expressed through a position. And through that, I am to evolve. I am to evolve. And Sri Krishna is saying, if I'm irresponsible, people won't know who they are. They won't know what to do. So what will this destruction be? People will be inefficient in how they live, so they will devolve. I've repeatedly shared the purpose of every day, the purpose of life is to evolve. Yes? Make the mind more reflective, make the intellect more still, shift dependency from the phantom. But if we don't know who we are, we don't know what to do, we will only devolve. Sharing this with you in a personal example, and then we'll think about it more. When I was younger, my parents put my sisters and I in tennis lessons, and I was awful. All I would try to do is hit the ball as hard as I can. So my parents realized Vivek and tennis are enemies, so let's put him in soccer where he can kick a ball as hard as he can. And through that, I found the position that is best for me. In this case, a sport. It helped me to be healthy. I'm more of a team sport player than an individual sport player. You get my point. Most of you you put your kids in tennis, correct? So they don't get hurt. But for me, that's not healthy for me. I evolve physically and mentally more through playing soccer. Every one of us, our purpose is to evolve, and knowing our varna, knowing our ashrama is a catalyst to that. This requires us being responsible. This requires Shri Krishna to be responsible too. Okay? From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was to implement your plan. And you came up with many lovely ideas. Here's a couple of more for you. Whenever you get a chance, walk. Yesterday, I had to visit a seeker in a hospital. And I was asking, he's not allowed to leave his ward. So I asked him, what do you do? He said, I just do laps. I do laps around this ward. And he's in a tough position, but that's a healthy way to deal with that tough position, right? To write. Whenever you're in a car and you're waiting to pick up someone to go somewhere, engage in Likita Japa. Write down Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Our evolution is not just to happen in the morning. Every period you get, engage in your physical and mental betterment. Here's your application for this morning. I want you to think of one family member and one friend who are in the right position in life and who are in the wrong position in life. Here, position can mean relationship. It can mean vocation. I told you about tennis versus soccer. And I want you to compare them. See how the person in the right position is living and feeling, and how the person in the wrong position is living and feeling. Clear. But don't tell them about this. You're looking at them and taking notes. This is your own reflective application. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.